before Wall Street, before Rome, before anyone even imagined something called a global economy, there was one empire that understood a truth the world hadn't put into words yet. Power isn't built on armies. Power is built on the architecture of money. And the Achaemenid Persians didn't just understand this. They engineered it. They turned finance into a weapon far more durable than any sword. Welcome to the financial timeline, where money, power, and history collide. And nothing is ever as simple as it looks. When most people think of ancient Persia, they picture monuments, soldiers, and kings. But beneath the spectacle was the real machine, a financial system so advanced that modern governments still follow its blueprint. Taxes, standardized currency, administrative districts, strategic reserves. These weren't Greek ideas. They weren't Roman ideas. They were Persian ideas, and they were born from a crisis. In the 6th century BCE, Cyrus the Great stitched together the largest empire humanity had ever seen. It stretched from the Aegean Sea to the edge of India. 40% of the world's population lived under his rule. But size creates chaos. Each region had its own taxes, currencies, weights, and traditions. Babylon taxed in grain. Lydia used coins. Egypt used agricultural levies. From a local perspective, these systems worked. From an imperial perspective, they were a nightmare. Without unified finance, even the greatest empire collapses under its own weight. And Persia nearly did. Darius I did anything. Expand the empire. He stabilized it. And he did it using the same logic modern nations rely on today. 1. He created satrapies, the world's first large-scale tax districts. Not send whatever you can. Not guess your tribute. Darius introduced precise, fixed, predictable tax quotas based on wealth and capacity. Every farmer, merchant, and governor suddenly lived inside a bureaucratic system designed 2,500 years before the word bureaucracy existed. 2. He standardized the currency, the gold daric. The daric wasn't just a coin. It was a promise. 95.8% pure gold standard weight accepted across the empire. Trusted even by Persia's enemies. The Greeks hated Persia politically, but economically, they used Persian money. That's what a reserve currency is. 3. He built the Royal Road, a communication network centuries ahead of its time. 2,700 kilometers. Relay stations every 20 to 30 kilometers. Messages delivered in a week. This was the Persian internet, because money only matters if it can move. 4. He built treasuries, not for luxury, but for survival. Persia held massive reserves of gold and silver. 2. Stabilize crises fund. Wars reward loyalty, punish rebellion, build infrastructure. Today we call these sovereign wealth funds or strategic reserves. Darius called it being prepared. While other empires ruled by crushing differences, the Persians ruled by integrating them. Local elites were incentivized. Temple economies were absorbed. Satraps were monitored. Rewards and penalties were financial, not military. Persia ran on spreadsheets before spreadsheets existed, and it worked unbelievably well. So well that later empires copied it for centuries. The Greeks mocked Persian luxury, then adopted Persian finance. The Romans conquered Persian lands, then copied Persian taxation. Even the stability of the daric influenced coinage for generations. Persia had discovered the truth. Modern states still relearn every generation. Money is the real infrastructure of empire. Strip away the stone reliefs and gold coins, and the Persian model looks shockingly familiar. Satrapies equals federal states. The daric equals reserve currencies, pound, dollar. The Royal Road equals global data cables and trade routes. Treasuries equals sovereign wealth funds. Standardized taxes equals modern revenue systems. China follows this logic almost perfectly. The United States follows it imperfectly. Persia wrote the manual long before anyone else. But Persia also shows how empires fall. It wasn't Alexander's genius that ended Persia. It wasn't divine destiny or heroic warfare. The empire collapsed because its own system stopped working. Later kings ignored financial discipline, allowed satraps too much autonomy, mismanaged reserves, tolerated corruption by the time Alexander marched in. Persia didn't lose a battle. It lost its balance sheet. Empires don't fall because of enemies. Empires fall because they forget their own architecture. The Achaemenids never wrote economic theory. They left no textbooks, no manifestos, no treatises. Their wisdom comes from practice, and it still applies today. Measure what matters. Standardize what you can. Build structures that survive pressure. Prepare before crisis, not after. Treat financial clarity as power, because history doesn't repeat, but if you don't understand it, it will crush you just the same. If this changed the way you see history, subscribe. Money built the world. I'm here to show you how.